Hello, Nomads, and welcome to the Nomads of Fantasy, episode 119. Tonight, we are seeking revenge. With me to seek out my revenge, I have Brandon.
Is there anything you'd like to tell me, son?
And also, I have David.
I am 100% professional.
Nailed it.
You're an old dinosaur.
Nailed
That's
it.
Dinosaur Senior.
You probably may not recognize those quotes.
You don't recognize it.
If you haven't played along at home with us, but those quotes are from Jailer, the 2023 Indian movie, specifically the Tamil region of India. This came out on Amazon Prime. It came to Amazon Prime. It wasn't theaters, but it came to Amazon Prime recently. So this came as a recommendation from one of my buddies at work. He just offhandedly mentioned it, and that it was good. So I'm like, hey, let's check it out.
Why would this movie be recommended to us? Why do you think that is?
Probably, I don't know. He just knows that we've watched RRR and Bahabuli. So
exactly.
That's the main reason behind the recommendation.
I just want to put, it's not like a disclaimer, but kinda, right? I want to say that we've only watched a few movies from India.
Yes.
We sat down with podcaster eyes and watched these movies and go back and talk about it. The first movie we did, Eric found it. It was amazing. It was called RRR, and it was a blast. So then we saw, that director did another movie. It was a two-parter, and it was called the Bahubali, Part 1, Part 2, which is like 6 hours of epic timepiece Indian cinema. Both of those movies are kind of timepiece. They both definitely took place in it before now. This one's our first modern day story, coming from an Indian studio. So, I think we're going to be all over the place with this conversation because we're totally, American boys who mostly grew up on Hollywood films, and seeing a different culture do something so bombastic like this, like what we're about to talk about with Jailer. I don't know if some of the stuff we might say or laugh at would offend people. It's not our intentions. It's just we're reacting to it because it's just different from.
Yeah, it's coming from our perspectives, and we're probably going to butcher names as well, so bear with us.
That is going to be rough.
We're going to do our best, and I think we're going to have fun talking about this one.
And for everyone else, you should try watching some of these Indian movies. They are long, they are ridiculous, but they are different, and I think different is good.
Absolutely.
Well, for sure.
Before we get into all that, I'm going to throw it over to Dave to give us a little peek ahead of what's on the schedule.
Nice. All right. In the month of November for 2023, next week we will be discussing video game maps, digging into some UI, what we like, what works, what don't works, some recommendations.
Don't works.
We'll probably have stuff works and stuff doesn't work. So we'll be throwing out some stuff on X, and seeing what people like out there. People got any recommendations of things that they enjoy as far as their video game navigation. We'll take a little break to give thanks, and then we'll be coming back with Goonies, and go from there. But currently, we got some.
I think Dave's audio cut out. I can't hear anything. All right. Well, while Dave figures out his audio, I'll keep rolling. If you want, this is where we usually do our social section, but we kind of put the call out on X.
Turns out not many nomads have listened to this one or watched this one.
Which is fine. This is why we're here, to kind of get the word out about some, maybe some films that you don't know about or you haven't seen. I mean, that's our whole philosophy here, So We're gonna travel around and check out some different stuff, and this is definitely one of those things. But
it's very on brand for us to watch this movie.
Absolutely. But if you want to follow us on the socials, you can follow us at Nomads of Fantasy on Twitter and X, and you can join our Discord, nomadsoffantasy.com/Discord. And if you're watching the video version, you can see Brandon's fancy hat there. He's promoting some of our new merch. Got the new logo with the beanie. You can find all that.
Very fancy.
The nomadsoffantasy.com. And just click on the merch store link there. Got all your nomad needs over there. All of them. So check it out. But yeah, we will take a little break, and when we come back, we will talk about Jayla. And we are back to talk about Jailer. Like I said, this movie is from 2023, so a new flick that we watched this year. It came to Amazon Prime, and it's a amalgamation of a couple different genres. They actually have a term for this in Indian cinema. It's called a masala film, which is basically a blend of a bunch of different genres. So like it's usually comedy, action, romance, and drama all in one movie, which this basically
seemed like that's
that.
What had yep.
So it's a mishmash of all of that, which I feel like it can work if executed well, but can also get messy if there's too many different parts going on at the same time. Which this movie, we'll talk about it. We'll see where we land on it, but. Yeah, this one had a decent budget. It's, it definitely was not a cheap movie. I don't know the conversion rate of this currency.
I've got it right here.
Oh, you
It looks
do?
like it made. It looks like it cost about $2 million.
Okay.
Rupees or
conversions?
whatever.
U.S. dollars. Converting the crow. How do you pronounce that?
So it's about, in the box office is about, if that conversion, it's like 6.5 mil, 6 to 6.5 around there. So
around 6, 7.
A good chunk of change, definitely. And the star of this movie, Rajinikanth.
You mean the superstar?
The superstar. This is like I did not know about this guy, but apparently he's like an idol, a Indian cinema idol. He's like on the level of like, I don't know, Tom Cruise or
we were talking about this before.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Which is it's just so cool. This guy he's been making movies since the 70s. This is his 170th film. Well, I don't think this was 169, but I think he's made 170 films, or he's in the process of making his next one.
Dude was like 72, 71 when he made this.
That is ridiculous. I had no idea that he was that old.
He looks great. I mean,
I saw the picture of him in real life compared to the Jailer, and does not look like the same person.
Not at all.
I know. I was watching this movie. I'm like, damn, this guy is a superstar because of that fucking hair.
Right? He got a serious glow up in this one.
No. I'm like, dude, he's fucking bald as shit. He doesn't have any hair.
But no, he's looking, for a 72-year-old dude, he's
72.
He's looking great in this movie. But there was actually a couple returning Indian actors that we've seen before. A couple from Bahubali, which was his wife.
His wife. Yeah, that was the mother.
Yes.
From Bahubali, and then the woman warrior from the one tribe. Also, I recognized. Yeah,
that is correct. Yep. Mirna Manan. I'm gonna butcher these. Was the warrior wife, and then Ramya Krishnan was his wife. Muthu's wife. Tiger.
There's a new one that I liked out of this movie. It's the bad guy, Varman.
Dude, he was so good.
He's my favorite character.
That dude was.
I kept thinking
crazy eyes.
Far Cry villain. 100%, right?
Yes.
Like that's all I could think of when I was watching him. He's just got that insane look in his eyes. Totally. He's like a psychopath. He's dipping dudes in sulfuric acid. Like it's insane.
Yeah. Like I thought he was kind of one of my favorite parts of the movie.
Gotta have a good villain. They have a good movie, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, if the movie has a villain, they should be good.
That's true. I mean, if we're gonna do some quick takes.
Yeah, let's go around impressions.
I'll jump in.
Please.
I don't know. I really like Bahubali and RRR. This one I found a little less interesting than the other two. I think because the other two are more like epic, like Lord of the Rings stories and like crazy shit's going on. This one was a little more grounded. It felt like an Indian version of Taken or
John Wick.
I thought that too.
Or like John Wick or something like that. Yeah.
Totally. Like
I
had the same thought.
They had that same vibe.
John Wick meets India.
Yeah. basically. So I mean, so it was fun. Some of the side stories I was very confused about. There was it changed gears pretty often in this
It's
movie.
pretty convoluted, absolutely, dude.
A
Because
lot of
like
stuff
yeah,
going on.
they go after the crown, and like all of a sudden we're shooting music videos, and there's like a whole love story that just like it's like a little like mini arc inside of the greater arc, which was
Yeah.
it was interesting. But I mean, it's a fun Indian films in general are kind of more, I don't want to say jovial or fun, but they got a funness to them. The ones that at least that we've
I was gonna
watched.
say the ones we've watched, I feel like we've only
Yeah.
explored a specific genre. But yeah, this fit well into that genre.
Oh yeah. Shout out to also Yogi Babu, who plays Vimal. I don't know, is he like the super high taxi driver that drove him around?
He was
Like some of the characters in it, like the Indian cinema's got like some kind of silly characters, and like their sense of humor is a bit different from ours, where we're either making like punny remarks or like sarcastic remarks. Like they've got a different sense of, I guess,
totally
what's
different
going on.
sense of comedy. Their
Which is
dry comedy is very different than our dry comedy.
the guy that's just going, eh?
My favorite
Like,
character.
dude,
My
like,
favorite character.
all of the time. I
Could
laughed
not
out loud
like,
a couple times.
Kill this guy, please. Like, who is this weirdo in the corner
But-
that just keeps?
It was a fun one. I don't know. What do you think, guys? Brandon, how about you?
Me, I'm less hot on it. I'll be honest. I don't want to spoil anything. We can probably run through the plot after we do our reactions here. But this movie is way too long. And after you watch like
They're all
a couple of these Indian movies,
they're
so
all 3
long.
hours long, dude. Like literally
fucking
everyone I've seen is like 3 hours
It's because
long.
of the fucking slow-mo is like 50% of the movie. I was like, after a while, I'm like, okay, how long does it fucking take? So what I noticed was
Listen, this is
movie,
the superstar. You can't.
Every time you're gonna fucking do something, every time you're doing something, it's gonna be slow-mo. Because the only way you're cool is if it's slow-mo, and you walk like you don't give a fuck.
Slow-mo.
And somebody's singing a song about you.
Yeah,
how awesome
it's
you
awesome.
are.
Uh-huh.
And I was just like, if they didn't do any of this shit, this movie would be 2 hours long. Seriously. So after a while, it was getting to me. I was like, I'm losing track of the story here because of these long scenes and subplots. And there's like 40 characters in this movie. Some I liked, some I didn't. Love the villain. I like the main guy. I think he did pretty good for 72, but his action scenes were definitely like a 72-year-old because he sits down and talks a lot, but he doesn't do anything else. But the villains are really good in this, and I really liked that part. But I don't know. I wanted something a little bit more concise. I was kind of like another subplot. I don't want to ruin anything, but like later on, the third act, like there's a totally different shift of like what's really going on. I'm like, now we're doing this now. Like, let's just wrap it up, man. Just give me an epic fight.
Should be closing the story down, and I said they added on like another couple chapters onto it.
Yeah, and then I just struggled with the other movies that we watched, Triple R and Bahubali. I had no problem watching and reading because everything was kind of, I don't know, slower paced or something. But now this is more modern, so there's a lot of quick lingo, a lot of quick jokes. I found myself rewinding a lot because I didn't read it fast enough.
I did a couple times,
and then go up and look. I was like, I'm sorry, what? Because everything they're saying is so witty and like
that, and I feel like it's just a faster language, you know.
It's a faster language. It's a faster movie.
It's hard to, yeah. It's
so
hard
just
to keep
my
up
dumb
with
American, just watching it. It's just like, all right, hold on, what? Who is this? Let me go back. Struggling. There's no way to do a voiceover in this. So, but yeah. So I don't know. It was good. I couldn't wait for it to end. I'll be honest with you.
Well, for me, I feel like I guess Brandon's on the lower tier, Dave's in the middle. I guess I'm a little bit more up here. Like, not way above Dave or anything, but I think
give me another hour of this shit.
No, not another hour, but I think I was a little hotter on it.
And then things happen.
I enjoyed what I watched. I had a really good time with this movie. Like, I mean, yes, 3 hours is a very long
Yeah, did
run
you watch
time.
it once?
horror movie. No,
Did you watch it in one sitting?
Dave's dying over there.
Oh my god.
But no, I tried, but I fell asleep.
I did too.
Well, like there was like 40 minutes left, I think, and I was just tired, and I was, yeah. But I think breaking them up, I feel like that's what I did with all of the Indian movies that we've watched so far, because they are 3 hours. I've broken them up into like 2 nights, which I think makes it a little bit more manageable.
Dude, it's because there's so much epicness going on, you just can't take it.
Right, exactly.
Like you're numb to it.
But I enjoyed everything. I enjoyed all the slow-mo scenes, the subplot. I think it
all of the slow-mo scenes.
I think it added
some of them.
All of them.
With, like you were saying, without that stuff, this movie probably wouldn't be
a short film on YouTube.
it would be not necessarily shorter, but like it puts it on another level than if he was just like the song. I don't know. There's something about when he's walking in slow motion. There's a song blaring in the background. He's getting ready to kick some ass. Like that just, I don't know. It hypes me up.
Slowly taking off his glasses. Like
I think those glasses.
Just see him cook eggs in the morning. It's just like slow motion, flipping them.
No, I think that was overused a bit. I will agree with you there. Like by the end, I was like, okay, we get it. He's the superstar. He's this huge icon in India, and they really give him his due in this movie. That's for sure. But I think
that's the
overall,
fun of it, right?
Yeah, I think that's why I had so much fun with it. Just because it's over the top. All of the movies we've watched so far are over the top,
right?
Which is something that I just love about it. They just
it's a good
go
movie.
overboard, and I think that works for it.
It's Indian Taken, yeah.
Yeah, it's a fun. It's a good movie. It's a fun movie. But like when I look, I'm comparing it against like Triple R and Bahubali, which
that's tough.
Freaking love. I like these are great movies, and people should watch those movies. You really should. There's 3, 6, 9 hours of epic film that you could go watch right now. We just told you, but this one didn't hit me as hard. But I enjoyed the ride. But it was just kind of like a little long. But that's cool that you liked it. So we had a pretty good spectrum here.
Yeah, I liked it. Something that's interesting about just the cultural difference too is the warnings at the bottom, constantly at the bottom of the screen.
Yes.
There's the smoking warnings. There's the talking and texting and on cell phones while driving warnings. There,
right.
I just thought that was so.
But bashing somebody's head in with a bat and dipping them in like sulfuric acid.
That's fine.
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
And like if there's animals on screen, no animals were harmed in the making of this movie.
Trying to cut a kid's head off. We don't need anything for that.
No, but I just
pretty
think
dirty.
It's interesting. Like even if like for one tiny little 5-second scene, there's someone smoking a cigar or something, they flash that warning up, like smoking kills and causes lung cancer. But just the difference in culture, I guess. But it's just interesting to me. But I don't know. Do we want to go into the?
I want somebody to give a quick plot.
So yeah, I was gonna say, do we want to go into the plot of it?
Spoiler territory. Like, who wants to take a shot at this crazy,
I'll take
long?
It's not a complicated plot. There are, like you said, many various.
I don't remember
subplots.
half of what happened. Okay.
Let me give a rundown. All right,
go for it.
You got Muthavel, who is the superstar.
Yes.
He's a retired police officer. His son's a police officer. His
AC?
APC?
Assistant Commissioner is what AC stands for.
AC.
Yeah.
There you go.
Took me forever to figure that until somebody said what it was. I'm like, thank you.
I think the son's dirty in the beginning, and he ends up just like disappearing. And they start trying to kill the family, and Grandpa is
give you that hint that he's a dirty cop in the beginning, do they?
They don't say anything in the beginning.
They were saying something about when the Muthavel was like
he's going in too deep.
Yeah, he was trying to do something. Yeah. And
well, his whole thing was that he was saying that he was undercover working on this case for 4 years or whatever. And whatever, he just gets taken, or they just assume that he's
early
dead.
In the first act, he disappears, and the police cover it up and basically say he probably committed suicide or he was taken out.
Right.
But to the father, he's like beast within mode kind of kicks in.
That's when the taken.
Revenge.
I have a particular set of skills.
Right.
I mean, it really is. It's another, it's a revenge plot.
It's definitely revenge. Yeah.
That's really all it is.
After the son disappears, they try killing the grandson. Grandpa Muthavel saves him, calls the drug, or he ends up killing somebody because they tried to kill his kid or kill his grandkid.
Mm-hmm.
So then the drug lord starts trying to kill his family.
No, hold on. He's not a drug lord. There's no drugs. They are selling statues. They are moving idols.
Market shit.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah, that's what he does. He traffics relics and sells them to high bidders.
That's why he wanted the crown. That was like his.
Did you see his eyes?
I mean, I'm sure he's drugged up, but he's not selling drugs.
I bet
Dave, the guy is cracked out of his mind. Of course he's on drugs. He literally parties. Hey, I got to think for a second on what I want to do here. Everybody dance, and everybody's fucking dancing.
But his
grown-ass men who will cut your head
face.
up with a machete are fucking dancing and having a good time.
I mean, his mission in life is to get this crown. He's like obsessed with these ancient relics. That's what he's dealing in.
All right, if you're gonna get me on the nitty-gritty details, then sure.
Get it right, Dave.
Come on, the Wikipedia.
Did you even watch this movie?
Family goes into hiding, and Papa Muthavel, he tries to go kill the drug lord. The drug lord says, your son's still alive. Go get me this crown. Then it turns into Ocean 11 heist, and we got to go get the crown and then get his son back. And spoiler warning, at the end, the son ends up being dirty, and he gets gunned down and credits roll. Boom. Done.
All right. So that was the episode. Let's get out of No. No, but seriously.
I mean, yes, for a quick plot summary. There you go.
No, that was Well, that about sums it up.
I don't know if that's a plot summary. I think you just gave away the movie.
Spoiler warning. If you've listened to this far, you've probably watched the movie already.
Yeah. Still watch it just because there's a lot thrown into this movie, and like my comments should definitely not deter anybody from seeing this movie. I think it's, I'm just not as hot on it, but there are some pretty cool scenes that happen in this thing. Eric, what did you think about? Well, going back into that, this is like a modern story. Like, what did you think just seeing our first Indian movie with like gangsters and fucking cell phones and YouTube, influencers and shit in it?
Yeah, it was interesting. Again, just the difference in culture, because they are making like modern pop culture references, and like there's a lot more modern stuff. It just not used to what we're seeing, but I mean, it kind of fit. It fit with the plot, and I don't know. I didn't really have any issues with it or anything, but I don't know. I thought it was fine.
I think that's why it's I don't know, less interesting to me is because it's like real.
It's not as fantastical as some of the other.
Yeah, I mean, there are some.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say, Dave. There's something there. It's different when like there's a massive battle of guys like running into each other on the battlefield, and then one guy slowly comes up, and he brings out like a massive mace, and like he's just super jacked, and he's like moves really slow while arrows go by. Like that's fucking dope. But when our hero, the tiger, comes up, it's just like he's walking out of a car. It's slow-mo. He's gonna sit down. It's slow-mo. I guess I'm hung up on the slow-mo and everything, but it really was just like kind of annoying after a while, because it's like, man, he really doesn't do anything in this movie.
I will say,
he's just really cool.
He is really cool. Probably one of my favorite scenes in the movie is after, I forget what happens. Oh, it's after they realize his son is dead or whatever, or they think they think their son is dead. And he goes out to that bar and he gets like drunk or whatever. And these two guys, two of the guys that were sent to kill his grandson, follow him, off of these alleys.
They're harassing him too.
They're just harassing him, telling them they want to, rape his daughter-in-law or whatever.
Daughter-in-law, and yeah.
So he just goes back to his car, fucking whips out a machete, and straight up decapitates that dude right there. Like that was like, holy shit! I was not expecting that. I don't know.
Right.
Just shit like crazy shit like that out of nowhere. Just I enjoyed that.
He does have like, he's got those nerves of steel, but he also has patience of steel, and I don't know. He's like this like standing up idol of like virtue so much that like.
Is he though? That was where the plot got
That's the whole
lost a little
thing.
bit for me, because like we see that flashback when he's like the jailer in that prison or whatever, and he's like a dictator. He's not acting like just and
So
virtuous. He's like punishing
People, they're
looked into
fucking
this.
around in
these
the prison.
prisoners.
They deserve what they get. Like, he is the jailer and they're fucking around, and he says no, they gotta eat and they can only sleep for 2 hours at a time or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, hey,
He's
like,
riding a
you don't-
line
not on his watch.
between like
He is running light. He's definitely in the grave. But
Mhm.
I will say, when I looked at Wikipedia, I needed a recap. The names escaped me. The 50 characters I watched over 2 days. You know, it was just a lot, right? So I'm like, I need a recap if I'm going to talk about this intelligently. But it said in the plot synopsis that he did that to those prisoners, basically to kind of keep them in line and to
Sure.
reform them.
Yeah.
And then it worked. Whatever his method was, it worked. Like, he got their trust, and he was able to build a network off of these people because he'll always have these connections because there was like a level of respect of what he was doing. Yeah, it was like off
Which
the
we
books.
see
and he made
later in the
rules,
movie.
told the dictator. But he if you pay attention, this is like a part of the good. This is definitely one of the better parts of this movie is that his writing was pretty good because he won't take out, like, he only fucks up bad guys, right? I like that. I like that he's got a code. But he will either fuck them up or give them a chance out, right? Which he tried to do with his son. But later on, there was a scene where like the main villain's like, I'm gonna kill your fucking family. I've got them. Like, they're there. They're gonna behead them or something like that. No. I'm sorry. It was the jailer scene when he's like, he gave that to the one prisoner who's like acting like a gangster. He's like, no gangsters here. Says, if you think you're so badass, go ahead. You can call my family and get them killed. Go ahead. Give him a phone. He tried making the call, and while his thugs are going to the family, these people showed up with like a basket of fruit and just quickly just threw grenades or something like that in the car, and they all got out. They didn't die though. He's like, I'm not gonna kill them. Like, I can control this. Like, I can just scare them and it's kind of a slap on the hand. It's like, you can go and try to kill my family, but I already know everything. I have such a deep network. I thought that was a cool flex where he's like, I won't kill if I don't have to, but unless you give me a reason. Like, if you're really evil,
or no other choice,
or you're coming to hurt my family, then then I kill you. Which my quote was like, even with his own son, he's like, you're bad, you're crooked, you're dirty. But even you, I'll give you a chance to just surrender, which he wouldn't take, But it's, I don't know. So I don't know. At the end of the movie, even though I was kind of confused with some of the stuff, I thought like, hey, he was well written though. In the end, though, like, he's a well written character.
I don't know. I didn't like that ending. It was weird. Like, it's your son, so you're trying to choose like either upholding the law and being like having a giant boner for justice, or like your own family, and he's just like, like he couldn't have taken his kid in and put him in jail. He had to have snipers like murder his son in him
because the system's crooked though, and he's just one of the members though. Like, if his son goes down there, well, that's the sad thing. It's just like,
cut his ear off.
His son would keep going down that path,
right?
He had to take out his son.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, it's debatable.
He was willing to have his own kid, wife, mother, and father killed. And then when he got a chance to get out, he pulled a gun out on his father, and he was going to shoot his own father. Like, there's no redemption there. He had to take him out.
You mean he was in hiding on purpose? Is that what you're saying? The son?
Yes, dude. He's behind the whole thing. He made a deal. When he was investigating on these crooked cops, he saw an opportunity. He's like, I want that fucking money, and I'll help you. So he's like,
I thought he made the deal after he had been in.
No, this was his plot for all along.
Oh, that's even dirtier. I didn't know it was that dirty.
He wasn't following this gang. He wasn't following this gang to take him down. He was following it for so long to infiltrate and get in on it.
He wants to get in on it.
Which what you were saying, Dave, is kind of what I was hoping for. I thought they were trying to throw like a false curveball at us. Like he was telling Pharma what he wanted to hear, like just so he could
Yes.
get out. That's what I thought was happening, but then it turned because like in that last 20, 30 minutes, whatever it was, it goes back and forth. You don't know whether Arjun is, either with the criminals or if he's just using this as a way to get out so he can get back to his dad so he can come fuck up the villains, which is what I was hoping would happen. I was hoping to have this like epic scene of father and son fighting side by side.
I think you're supposed to hope that, but that's right. That's the sad part.
Exactly.
And that's like that goes back to like this genre that you're talking about. Like, yeah, it doesn't really hit for me. Like when he dies, I did not feel emotionally attached to his death. I was just like, yeah, we get it.
I didn't feel sad for Arjun. I felt sad for Muthu, the main dude, because he had to make that choice. He was forced to.
But the movie's like funny. It's a musical, and then it's a drama, and then it's a tragedy, and it's just all these things. And it's tough when you're like laughing one scene and then whoa, that's so epic! It's an epic fight, and then it's this scene here. Just like I'm depleted on emotions at this point.
A lot of roller coasters, going on.
I think that's a lot. I forget when we were talking. It might have been about Triple R Bahubali, but like a lot of these have so many pieces. It's so it can cater to everybody. Like, so you could watch it with your grandma because she likes the dancing and the love story, or you could watch it with your crazy uncle because he likes watching dudes get their heads cut off with machetes. Like,
sure,
it was kind of sure. I mean, there was definitely a rhythm in this movie because it started out lighthearted. It showed the relationship between the father and son and the interactions between the grandson and
grandfather and the grandson,
with the whole YouTube thing. Like that was fun, lighthearted. And then son, supposedly dead, goes on this revenge tirade. And then it goes back up to the comedic stuff when they introduce like Blastman and this whole love triangle with his director. And
so dumb.
It's and then it goes back down towards the end. Yeah. From. So there's definitely
forgot about that whole
a rhythm to this movie. Yeah.
That thing, like, because I mean, it came from them trying to do the heist. Is that where it originated from? So because they were trying to get into that place, and only that one person had like the access to get into that place.
It's such a convoluted plot because Blastman, Blastman's like part of the whatever the treasury or whoever it was that's like
he has
trusted to keep an eye on the crown. Yeah. So they give him this idea to make this movie recreating somebody stealing the crown and Blastman starring in it or whatever. So it's this elaborate plan just to set up Blastman to make it look like he's the one that actually stole the crown so they can get the real crown, but in reality they didn't actually steal it. It's like, I can see where you can get confused.
It was the Ocean's 12. That's the caper heist right there. It's the old bait and switch.
Yeah, I like that they showed a scene from, was it Mission Impossible, right? When he's trying to avoid all the lasers and all that stuff. And they're like, see how he did it? Like, you just got to do it like that. And like, I thought it was pretty cool seeing like a Western movie.
The whole like love triangle thing between Blastman and the director of his movie was weird.
Very clunky.
Yeah, it felt
kind of
like
we signed up these big names to be in this movie. What are we doing with them? Because it goes nowhere. Like you never see those. It doesn't feel resolved. Yeah, I don't know. That was weird because I didn't mind it, but it was kind of like this feels
didn't really push any of the plot forward or anything like that. It was just kind of
the comedic,
like an interstitial. The comedic element.
The goofy like production coordinator who's just on the side going.
I love that guy. That's my favorite character.
That guy was pretty funny. That was like his only line. He had that silly voice too.
Divya, I think was his name.
Brandon, what did you think about the kid acting from the grandson in the beginning?
He's fine.
Oh, okay. I thought it was good.
Yeah, he was
YouTube. I like that he had this YouTube
totally
channel.
In the third act, though. What's that?
I like that he had this whole YouTube channel thing. Oh, and like he only had like 50 followers or whatever, but he's like, I need to make this content for my followers.
I like that, and they're like he's like wearing like normal clothes, whatever, and then the grandfather's like, if you want to sell it, you got to look like you're
make
from
it
like,
authentic.
India. And you're like, you got to wear like old ass clothes, like rags or something like that. And I thought that was pretty funny. Yeah, some of the humor was pretty good if I got it, like the taxi driver and all that stuff. But like,
Yeah.
the grandson disappears in the third act. Like they hide him at one scene. He like hides the kid, and he's just like not in the movie ever again.
Nowhere. Yeah.
Which I thought was like there's a great opportunity to have him in that emotional scene at the end. Where it's just like like you should surrender. Think about your son, or whatever. But they don't even talk about that. It just kept it between them two, and I'm just like I don't know. Then the taxi driver. Did the taxi driver die or what? Because he just disappeared too. Like
no,
I thought he was.
He was in.
I remember him
he
in
was
the
in
third
there
act.
towards the end. I think.
Was he? Okay, I don't remember.
He was helping. He was helping Muthu out the whole time. I like that they threw like kind of a little bit of like Breaking Bad in this because he's sort of living a double life at the point where he's trying to get all this revenge on the criminals and his family doesn't know about it. And like, what do you guys think of like the whole blackmailing the psychiatrist scene so they would keep his family distracted while he goes out and murders people? But it was interesting.
Again, convoluted, but yeah, it's fine. Like I don't mind that. It was, it's just all over the place
somewhere.
But
he's basically blackmailing and manipulating everybody to get him to do what he wants them to do. Like same with the taxi driver. He's blackmailing him so he could get him around without his family knowing. But then all of that comes to a head when he just kind of reveals everything to his family and he kind of does it in like a psychopathic way. That was a
crazy one.
That was like a John Wick scene or something like that for sure. Where like just a bunch of dudes are coming to your house and you're just not scared and it's just like, let's do this. And you're kind of acting like it's not happening where he sits his wife and daughter-in-law down, and just look at me.
I'm going to tell you.
And I'm going to tell you what's going on.
Yep.
And there are people coming to the door to kill us, but don't worry about it. And you're like, what the fuck is he going to do? He's just sitting there. But it's cool because he has this network of old cellmates or whatever, like that guy who was playing that really cool. I want to play that game, by the way, from the flashback scene in jail. Whatever that game,
that's on
awesome.
Switch. It's called Carom. It's
Carom?
Okay. What's the board game one for Switch, Eric? Clubhouse Games.
Clubhouse Games, that's right.
It's in Clubhouse Games. I played that before.
Okay.
It's good.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it looked fun. But I like that the guy he was playing against, he was like, hey, we worked something out. He's good. He's reformed, and I'll be in contact. And anybody else here can have that. You can definitely have this relationship with me if we have a respect for each other. But it's my way or the highway kind of thing. But that guy later on lends him like these like super giant dudes who are like ultimate badasses.
Yeah, the four sniper dudes.
Yeah, they're so they're really. I love this part. All this was really good, and they're just like waiting for these bad guys to show up, and because he's like, they're gonna come get me, so just protect my house, and we'll just wait for them, and then they do, and they show up, and people get killed. It's pretty cool.
Yep, that was an interesting scene. As you can tell, I don't know, it was more of like. I don't know if it's like the cultural patriarchy, but like it's you will sit down and do what I say, and you will listen to me because I am the man. Kind of.
Yeah, that kind of rubbed me a little wrong way, but that's like fucking. No offense to Indian cinema, but that's like Indian cinema. Like women do not have much of a role. They're not in the background ever. They are literally the mom, the wife.
Situation. Right.
Or the daughter. There are no women in this movie. They have no role. And it's a bunch of dudes filming each other, walking slow and talking cool to each other and killing each other and doing It's totally like a boys movie, like I think. Like I think it's I was thinking about that the whole time. Like this is just like what happens when boys make movies.
I mean they're maybe they threw that whole love triangle in for like an attempt to like if a woman was watching this movie have something to glom onto, if they were
and like all the dancing
the music video
mixed races too. I was like, wow, like there's like a lot of white women in there. Like, wow. I guess they'll, I'm just thinking acting wise, just like how many white,
the dancers and stuff.
Yeah.
That was interesting. I'm trying to think. Oh, the whole fake heist scene with the crown. The whole time I was thinking, because obviously you don't know that everybody is in on it in the beginning, but I'm like, throughout the whole scene, I'm like, why is everybody just standing up out in the open shooting a gun? They're just, they're gonna get, there's 10 guns pointed at them. Yeah, I'm like, this
Right.
seems weird. Why are they doing this? But now it makes so much more sense that it was all a setup, at the end. Because I was like, nobody, like you said, if they had these trained professionals, they wouldn't just be standing out in the middle of a field with 10 guns pointed at them trying to, get shot. But
yeah,
that was a good little twist, though.
Yeah, I like that twist.
It put a little bit of pizzazz on the whole Crown thing because he will not break a rule. It's all about law. He's the jailer, so.
Which again, why I was confused, like, why is he killing all these cops? He used to be a cop. I get he's trying to save his son, but he does have, like you said, Brandon, he has this code. Like he wouldn't do that in reality.
It's crafty.
Yeah.
Yeah, you think that he will break the rules for his own good, but in the end, when you look at all of his work, it's like, honestly, though, everything he did is justifiable.
Like you said, he only kills bad people.
Scumbags.
People that were trying to kill him or kill his family.
Exactly. He waits for them to make the decision. It's like, you're going to go down that path, and then you're dead, But if you're, like, kind of he gives people a chance, which I liked. Through and through, no matter what, even his own son, which is sad, though, because, like, he even applies it to his own son. It's like, even your own son you're going to kill? I mean, you walk away and you don't watch it happen, but still, it's like, it's fuck, dude. Like,
he gave him a chance. Gave him a chance to turn himself in.
It's just weird that it ends right there, though. Like, he should have at least gone back.
The movie was 3 hours. You wanted more?
The music's... I know, but, like, a scene where he goes home and it's just, like, the grandson or something like that, and he just, like, holds him.
More heart-wrenching stuff after that? He goes home and tells them that he killed his own son?
No, I don't want to, like, hear him say it. I can make that up in my head, but I just want to see him go back. I wanted to see the kid one last time. I wanted to close that chapter that, like, he now has to go home to that kid.
Well, it seemed like...
knowing that he had his father killed, his own son.
It seemed like in the beginning,
like, deep.
They kind of had that relationship anyways. Like, he was sort of taking
the
care
real
of
dad
and looking after the grandson, while daddy was out working, doing whatever. In reality, he was trying to get in on this idol statue scheme. But it seemed like he already had that role, so I guess we could sort of assume that in our heads, like. But yeah, I don't know.
So here's the thing I want to talk about. This is interesting. There were a few suicides in this movie, right? Very weird. So early on in the movie, you're introduced to our main villain, and he's hanging up these guys. This is like his thing. He hangs them upside down, he interrogates them, and then he kills them and drops them in these barrels and fills them with acid, and they die, right?
It's pretty brutal.
One guy is like, what's to say that you're not, like, lying? He's like, I'm not lying. I'm super devoted. He's like, watch this. I'll see you all in hell. And he, like, he goes into the back of all these guys that are watching this go down, and he just jumps into a big tub of liquid. And I'm like, did that guy just, like, prove that he's not a liar by jumping in? Like, that's weird.
That was.
But then later on in the movie, another guy's just like, if you're gonna kill me, I'd rather just kill myself. And then he takes a knife and just kills himself. I'm like, man, why wouldn't you just take the knife and at least try to kill him? Like, why don't you fight back? Like, just weird how. I guess it's like a dude. I guess these are dude movies, but like, it's a dude's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna take myself out. I'm a man. It's just like, it's just weird that these guys who have been in the movie the whole time were just. I just don't know if people could really do that to themselves, but
it's like a cultish devotion at that point.
Yeah,
maybe.
But,
I don't know. I thought that was weird. It's just you don't see that much. Or like, usually the Americans maybe will just like, I will fight to the death, or like, samurais will, like, in Japanese culture they'll like stab themselves, like, they will crash airplanes, kamikaze style in like World War II. In America, like, I just don't think people are that willing to give up their life. I feel like there's like. So I was just seeing like the Eastern and Western approach, and like when you're backed in the corner, is it on your own terms? Do you fight or do you surrender? So I thought that was just something I just don't see in our.
You'd see that, like Eric said, you'd see that in a Far Cry game, like that kind of weird.
Well, I can't get that on my head.
Like,
this is a Far Cry movie.
Bad guy. Yeah.
Well, that one dude, to your point, Brandon, that one dude, Paneer, I think was his name. He was one of Varma's guys that was kind of trotting around with them the whole time, keeping an eye on things.
They were yeah.
But once he got the call that the crown was fake, he did have a knife, and he went to stab. He did go to fight back because he knew that Varma was coming to kill him. So he's like, all right, I'll just have one last ditch effort, but that didn't really get him very far. But yeah, it was interesting. I guess it depends on the character, and yeah, I could definitely see the cultural differences there. But yeah, man, a lot of stuff going on in this movie.
Hey, you know what? You know what happened in this movie a lot besides slow mo? The theme song.
Oh yeah,
I can't get it out of my head.
It was yeah. It almost had the Rocky theme. It was like
sometimes,
you know, it had that main like theme almost that reminded me of like the Rocky theme.
Just like, dude, this song is like Indiana Jones, you know, or like Rocky. It's just like this.
It was an epic song, but yeah,
slow mo's coming.
And it's not even it's so funny because it's not even about the character. It's about the actor and the guy and how he's embodying the character, you know?
Yes.
It's so interesting how they handle idols.
Just walking slow with a smirk on his face and then taking off his sunglasses. Like he's always got that smile, which I think is the enchanting part about the jailer, is that, you know, he looks like a stereotypical good guy, but little do you know that underneath that skin he's ready to chop your fucking ear off if you see the candy bar.
Yeah, right. That was cool. The way he like talks to his prisoners. He makes them sing.
Right.
He'll play board games with them. He'll cut them deals, he'll cut ears off.
I've gotten,
reading,
you know. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Dave.
No, I was gonna say I was reading some reviews on Google just from, I mean, these people all have Indian names. I'm assuming they're all familiar with the genre and his career or whatever, but some of the reviews make this sound like it's like the Indian Godfather or something like that, the way that they kind of they glow about it.
Yeah, he's transcended the medium. He's like just a superstar.
Leaves an indelible mark on the cinematic landscape.
I was reading stuff on this movie too, and people, maybe it was because I was reading stuff on Reddit, but people were more mixed about this movie, and they say that Rajinikanth had much better movies than this one.
I'm sure he does.
And like, so a lot of the stuff we're saying are points that they made, like the slow-mo was overused, the plot was a little bit convoluted and messy. So it's not just us that are saying this, you know.
It's like they know this guy's wrapping up his career, probably 72, right?
But apparently,
so if you're gonna do some kind of,
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but there was, I mean, he's had 170 movies, but there's this movie called PETA from 2019, which is regarded as one of his best movies, which I kind of want to check out. But it's kind of the...
What year? What year did it come out?
2019.
1982. Oh, okay.
No, 2019. Oh. And it's kind of a similar plot. It's a...
Oh, okay.
Yeah, a film revolves around Kali, a hostile warden, crosses paths with a group of criminals where things take an interesting turn. So, it seems like he's done a lot of these type of roles, which...
Hey, dude, fucking Liam Neeson, how many times are you gonna do the same Taken movie? He does it where it's just a different movie, but it's the same fucking movie.
Right.
I was just gonna say that, you know, you can see that they tried really hard with this one. They really wanted to make this as epic as they could, probably because of who he is. So I think there's some of that just getting lost on us because we don't have that attachment to this actor. So we just see, you know, to them it's just like, oh, this is awesome seeing him doing it. You know, it'd be like, I don't know, just seeing one of the greats come out of retirement and doing a badass movie or whatever. Just like, hey, Harrison Ford's 80 years old. And
even
he's
like
doing
Arnold,
an action movie.
like Arnold, you know?
Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yeah, exactly. You know, there's a legacy that's carried when he shows up. It's just to us, it's just falling flat a little bit just because we don't know. We understand it, but it's just like I don't have that emotional attachment to this.
Which makes me want to watch more of his movies, like some of the highly regarded ones. That makes me more interested in checking out his filmography.
I wonder if they're 3 hours long.
I think they all probably
every single
are.
One of them.
Yeah, at least.
A lot of the side casts they said apparently came out. Like there's a lot of other I don't know, Indian superstars. I don't know who any of them are. Like they could be, it's like seeing cameos in our movies where we know like a Will Ferrell or a Ryan Reynolds and stuff like that. And there's apparently a ton of them in this movie, and we know.
Well, no especially I've noticed in Indian film stars, that they're a big star when they have one name. Like mononymous names is very common in India, where they only go by one name because they're so popular. So like, yeah, there's Rajinikanth, there's Vinyakan. I don't know how to say that, but that's Varma, Tamana, which is Kamna, and then Sanil, which is Blastman. So a lot of them just go by one name, which is just interesting to me because it just
pretty badass.
Yeah, right. They don't need two names for you to know who they are. They just go by a singular name.
Just call me Doug.
I've noticed that. Yeah, right. I've noticed that a lot. A lot of Indian actors will just go by one name.
That's pretty cool. I thought this was a fun one. Yeah, I don't know. They're always interesting to at least, like whether it's too long or whether they use too much slow mo or whatever about that. But they're all at least interesting and entertaining. That's for sure. I don't know if it's.
And they're gonna have a song in it. Always gonna be a song and dance in it.
There's gotta be. Yeah.
Yep. Just adds to the charm.
So, why does the superstar wear a wig? Dude's bald. Totally has a skullet.
Because he looks much more cool with a wig than his normal hair.
Why did John Travolta wear a wig for so long before he started shaving his head?
Yeah, that's true.
Same. You lose your luster. You lose your youth.
Yeah.
Because he looks like a 72-year-old man without hair.
It's very true. I think it's just because I've seen like promo images from a lot of his other movies, his other recent movies, and he has like same hair. Yeah. When in reality, he's like he's got male pattern baldness right down the center.
It is such a big wig though, too. Like
dude, that's what I'm saying.
It's power. There's power in the wig.
It's poofed out like extra wide on his head.
Oh, wild. I know. I was just like, I couldn't stop looking at it. I'm like, man, this guy's got no wonder he's a superstar. That head of hair is outrageous. But
he's got that smirk in that hair. Like that's enough there's not a dry seat in the house.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's interesting. I don't know. Do we have anything else we want to say? I feel like we've said a lot about this movie.
Good. I'm ready to queue up another one for sometime in the new year.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you have any,
I'm starting to. Oh, no, I was gonna say I'm starting to get like Google is starting to push them towards me because I've been like searching for stuff on
Netflix is full of Indian movies.
Well,
if I go to my recently added, if you go 10 movies in, it's all Indian movies.
That PETA movie that I just mentioned is on Netflix. Yeah, I think Netflix is a huge house for foreign films. We've come to realize.
Right. I want to see a different genre though. I think I need a break from this.
I agree. I
need to see like a horror movie. I want to see their horror. I know they exist.
That would be interesting.
But what do they do for horror? You know,
I didn't even think of that.
Or a drama, just like a straight up drama. I don't need a comedy, dark comedy. I don't need slow mo dudes. I just need, I want a good story with good acting, and I want to change the genre a little bit. But I don't want to give up on Indian movies. I think it's cool that we take the time to watch movies from one of the largest countries on the planet. Surely they can make good movies.
Oh yeah,
we should be checking them out.
A straight comedy would be interesting, only just because, and I don't know if we would. A lot of the jokes would probably fall on deaf ears with us because
I don't know, man.
I feel like comedy is so situational and cultural that it would be difficult.
Totally is.
A lot of the jokes might fall flat on us. But I think it'd be interesting just to see their sense of humor. But yeah, I'm definitely always down to check out, foreign films and see what other countries have to offer.
Something's different. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, that was a fun one. Jailer on Amazon Prime. If you listen this far, you've seen it, or if you haven't, then you can go check it out. Even if you don't watch the whole thing, I know 3 hours is a long time for a movie, but it was fun. I had a fun time watching it.
We just gave you all the big beats, so you can now watch it just and just enjoy the ride.
Completely spoiler free. No, I'm just kidding.
Mm-hmm.
But all right, well, let's wrap it up here for Act 2, and we will go into our final act with a little round of movie 20 questions right after this. And we are back with act number 3, and we're playing a little game of video game 20 question. No, not video game. Sorry,
video game.
Movie 20 questions.
Oh, you got me.
I did. I got you. If you don't know how 20 questions work, you guys will ask me a series of yes or no questions. I will answer them, and you guys have 19 guesses, or not 19 guesses, 19 questions and 1 guess. And if you guess wrong, you lose. So make sure when you guess, you get it right. Let the questioning begin.
Always get it right. All right. Is it after 2000?
No.
After 1990.
Yes.
Is it after 1995?
Yes.
Okay, man.
Mid to late 90s movie. Part of a franchise?
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask.
Yes.
Okay.
First in the franchise.
Yes.
Whoa. Okay. Could be The Matrix, Dave. Sci-fi? Is it sci-fi?
No.
No sci-fi.
No.
No science fiction in this. Okay.
So does that like take out like superhero or comic book movies or anything like that?
Sci-fi.
That's all science.
Well, I don't know. Is Superman science fiction?
Science fact.
Science.
Well, we didn't have too many of those movies coming out then, anyways.
But like one movie could have a sequel, and then that's a franchise, right? Like once you make a continuation, it's considered a franchise. Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. All right.
Let's get a genre here. Is this an action movie?
Yes.
Yeah, I was afraid of that. There's a lot of them. Are they still making movies with this franchise?
Yes.
Today.
Yes.
When was the first Spider-Man movie? 2000?
You can't pick Spider-Man for like the third time. We know that it's Spider-Man.
I did do Spider-Man like 3 weeks ago, or when Mike was on.
Right.
The last time I did movie 20 questions, I was Spider-Man.
Yeah. Okay, so what genre?
Action.
It's not. We know what it's not, right? Oh, it is action. Okay, action. Still making them. This is the first.
When did all sci-fi, like a Mortal Kombat movie, is Mortal Kombat sci-fi? Like, should we get the based off of a video game, or what else is there? What else could there be?
Is this more of a serious tone movie?
I mean, I feel like that's subjective.
Well, I mean, like, were they trying to be serious about this instead of making you like chuckle and be like, "Whoa!" But just like, yo, this is a serious story we're trying to tell here. Like,
Matrix versus Tank Girl.
the Matrix.
I mean, yeah, I guess.
Sure. Yeah.
I'll just say yes.
So it's leaning more in the yeah, but it's not. That rules out comedy, which is what I'm trying to do, like a dark comedy or a gritty comedy, which could be close to a drama. But okay,
I mean, for how you're framing it, then the answer is
yeah. I mean,
yes.
a funny scene happens, or there'd be a funny character in it, but the movie's more or less being serious.
Sure.
Okay. All right. Sounds like it's probably yeah. So it's an action movie that's more serious. So it's not gonna have one-liners before somebody's killed.
They didn't start making.
And wait, you asked if this is a sci-fi?
Not a sci-fi.
And it's not a sci-fi. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, Dave.
Yeah.
It is an action movie, and they are still making them, which is the still making them part is the tricky part.
Is there a video game version of this? Franchise?
Is there a video game
like based on this franchise? Or, yeah, franchise. Yeah.
I believe so.
Okay. Oh, that might not. I mean, it could be a fucking like a phone game or
there is in fact
web browser game.
There is in fact a video game.
Okay.
Based on this franchise.
Man, I'm just.
That's 10 questions, by the way.
I am blank.
Yeah, man. Are there aliens in this movie?
Are you sure you want to ask that question?
It's not sci-fi.
Keep thinking that. Yeah, sorry. Are there?
Thank you.
Ghosts in the? Can I ask that? Is there like no? That's not. That's very specific.
Oh,
who
is Tom? Is Tom Cruise in this movie?
Yes.
Whoa! What the fuck? How?
That just popped in my head. Mission Impossible movies.
Right.
That's what.
Wow.
Sorry, that was my sniper shot.
Where did that come from? How did you get Tom Cruise? I was too nervous to ask for a specific actor like Brad Pitt or Tom Cruise, but
I was thinking like Schwarzenegger or Stallone or any of those guys, but they didn't have anything coming out around then. But
Ocean's 11.
They're not making those anymore though. They're still.
They made Ocean's 8 like 4 or 5 years ago.
Did they?
It's fairly recent. Well, I like what you're doing with this. So Tom Cruise is in it, right? So, yes. Fucking what franchise does he do other than this? So it's got to be Mission Impossible. What's his character's name? Ethan Hawke or Hunt? Ethan
Hawke is an actor. I don't know.
So
I haven't seen very many Mission Impossible movies.
Is Simon Pegg in this franchise? Simon Pegg is in the Mission Impossible movies. Simon Pegg is from those British comedies.
I think so. I don't know. Sure.
Does this movie have a scene where he says, "Red side, blue side," and the gun explodes?
Yeah.
Okay, it's Mission Impossible. Is it Mission Impossible?
Is that your final answer?
Sure, why not?
Yes, it's Mission Impossible.
Good job, Dave. Wow.
Which we mentioned it. I mean, we mentioned it earlier in the episode, and I had it on the brain. You know, it felt fitting to go with like the American equivalent of
I was worried there. Yeah. Okay.
I feel like
how many questions was that?
That was 13, I think.
I did not expect it. That was a.
I need to get
a long shot.
I need to get more familiar with the Mission Impossible franchise because people say the new ones are like amazing,
really
movies.
Good. Yeah, it's intimidating because I want to watch them and I want to. Yeah, it's supposed to be good, but the Chris Logan over at
That's the rest.
Best of the rest. Thank you. That's like his favorite franchise or something like that. He loves those movies.
People are
so if we do it, we
him.
might need to grab him onto this one because he could be our Mission Impossible expert. But
I kind of just want to watch all of them. There's 7, and there's an untitled 8th film coming out, which I'm assuming Mission Impossible.
I've seen the first
Dead Reckoning Part 1 came out this year, so I'm guessing Part 2 is coming out in 2025.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's like the new thing. When you're closing your franchise, you do a double.
Right.
Harry Potter, I feel like, started that shit.
Right.
Right?
Deathly Hallows, yeah.
Okay, well, very cool.
I would love to do Mission Impossible, though, on the show.
Tom Cruise really hasn't made an appearance on this show. We did Interview with a Vampire, and
yeah, that's true. We haven't done any other Tom Cruise movies.
He's like one of the biggest names in Hollywood.
Yep.
So
that's a good point. So I'm sure we'll be visiting that franchise eventually. But cool, good job, boys. I don't know. I'm too tired to come up with something.
I get to go on a mission. I get to go on an impossible mission.
Yes, Dave.
Yay.
Stole the diamond or whatever that he does in that movie. I'm unfamiliar. Let's get out of here. If you want to follow us, you can follow us on Twitter and Instagram, Nomads of Fantasy. If you want to come chat with us, nomadsoffantasy.com/discord. Hop in there. If you want to play our game, whatmapgame.com. If you like guessing video game maps, I'll promote my stream again.
Which who doesn't?
I did part 2 of Eric's Ocarina Odyssey. Stream that on Twitch, and the archive is up on YouTube, youtube.com/@nomadsofantasy as well, twitch.tv/nomadsofantasy. If you want to watch live, and that's going to be going on every Tuesday around 9 p.m. Eastern time until I finish the game. So we're rolling along. I'm in the middle of Jabu Jabu's belly right now. That's where I ended last time.
I said this. I watched your stream last night, and I made this comment. I was like, Eric, I give you credit. Knowing that we are experiencing one of the greatest years in video games, you're fucking playing a game from the 90s. I give you credit. Like, you have Spider-Man 2, God of War Ragnarok, Hogwarts.
I made a promise.
Tears of the Kingdom.
I know.
You have all these games, these big games that came out, and here you are fucking playing Ocarina of Time.
I made a vow that I would finish it before the end of the year.
I know.
I have to keep my promise.
Clean it out that pile of shame.
That's right.
It inspires me to like go in my back catalog and chip away in some of the ones I want to play and finish. So
this game is so special to me and important to me, and I've never beaten it. So I feel like I need to finish it. I've played it so many times, but just have never seen the ending. So
owe it to yourself, Eric.
It'd be fun.
You really do.
Nice. Yeah, it's been fun. Talking about Jailer was fun, and I hope to do another Indian flick soon. If you got any recommendations, throw them our way in the Discord, email nomadsfantasy@gmail.com, whatever, Twitter, all that stuff. But with that, I will bid you farewell and say safe travels, Nomads.
ASMR, that was creepy.
Safe travels. Safe travels, Nomads.
Would you like to live deliciously? I fucking think about that Black Phillip shit still.